Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy, and we've got another Redline Tuesday here. This one was sent to me by Sin, and they wanted my help on some comic stuff, which is, that's kind of my wheelhouse. This is 7 pages, and they were specifically asking for help on pages 5 and 6, but just in general advice all over. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is page 1. And I also set this up kind of like in a long line, like the way you would go on a Korean webcomic site, and that all the pages are vertically listed. So there's no real reason for that other than just like it was easier for me. So anyway, the first thing I noticed is after reading down for a little while, I realized that the first scene kind of flip-flops a little bit on the 180 rule, which is like, let me just make a new drawing here so I can explain it. So we've got 3 characters in this scene. I'll do it on a diagonal here. So there is like a totem pole type structure, and then there's a masked character with horns on their head, and we'll do like that. So we're looking like top down, and then we've got the two buddies in the back. Let's see. This one's got dark hair and this one's got light hair. So that's how we'll remember them. Okay. So the first shot is basically, let me move it. No, I broke it. Okay. The first shot is like right here. So we're like looking this way at the character. So we'll pretend that's a camera and we'll say that's panel 1. And then the next shot is here. And that's panel 2. And then the next shot is like if this camera rotated. That's panel 3. And then we've got panels 4, 5 are both this but closer. So as you can see, so let's pretend there's a plane here. There's we're going to draw a plane through all these characters. The camera is staying on that side of the plane. So all the shots are set up from this side, okay? Same with this one. It's a little more like straight on, but you know what? That's fine. We can get right up onto the line, so we can go here, and that's okay for our camera to be facing that way. But then something's going to happen. So suddenly the camera switches here. I give permission for a shot like this. So in this upper right panel, we're suddenly looking this way. I say that I'm okay with this because it's a close-up and we know where both of these characters are. Now we're about to get confusing. So now we've suddenly broken the rules. So the camera is now way back here and has thoroughly crossed the line. So most of these shots I would say are okay, except you have to kind of make a decision now if you're okay with swinging the camera there. I feel like something should happen somewhere in here. Part of my issue, I think, for this, and this is kind of nitpicky, and this is something I did all the time, was I just drew it exactly as I saw it in my head, and I didn't really think about where a camera would be located. But if this was my comic, what I would do is I would flip this way and flip this way. And then you're going to have to flip these 2 characters so they were on the correct side, something like that. And I think this panel is okay. You might want to I might actually do some redlining here. What I would do here is maybe rotate this panel a little bit so it's a little more dead on. Just so you're not going so far across the 180 roll. The reason I say to set up most of the shots from this side is because the character's first movements in the scene are kind of moving the direction that we read in. So we read from left to right. So that's the way the character's kind of making movements. That's the way the characters are looking. So I would kind of try to frame it thinking of that way. And then these panels all start to make a lot more sense because now we're all on this side of the shot. So you can keep these frames. You really don't have to do a lot. The character looks pretty what do you call it? Symmetrical. So the character with the mask, I think you can get away with that. And just flip just flip everything. There you go. Just flip everything. I remember there was something here, something else. Oh, I remember. Sorry. It took me a minute. I would just pull this character up just a little more so that their cloak stays up inside the panel. And I feel like there was something else. No, this was okay. Maybe same for the little horns here. I would bring their head up or down into the frame just a little more so that they're not touching the edges of your frames. So I'm going to be using the terms frames and gutters synonymously because they kind of are synonymous in this case. Normally you would have a black outline around this panel. So this is the panel. A little comic anatomy here. Panel, then frame. So that little border is the frame. And then these negative spaces out here, which are usually black or white, they can be like any color. That is called your gutter. So this is the gutter. Now, I've noticed in indie comics, in French comics, in my comics, it's becoming more common to see the frame and the gutter are kind of synonymous. They just blend together. They're usually both black or both white. So, mileage may vary, but thought I would explain that real quick. Also, another thing I would do maybe in this first panel is maybe have this character's hands down, like picking up the necklace, since they're about to take it off. And then put like some motion lines showing that it's like lifting that way. I'm thinking if there's like another way to do these panels are so similar. And I'm wondering if there's like another way to do them. If they were on the same page, I would be cool with that, but because this is the bottom panel of page 1 and this is the top panel of page 2 and they're really similar, I'm just wondering if there's not a way to somehow combine this moment to have less page real estate eaten up. If they were on the same page, you could just make them identical, save for this character's like head and eye movements, and then you would have I don't know the official name for them. I call them take panels because it's like a double take. So you literally have like a double panel where a character is like doing a quote unquote take. They're making a facial expression difference, and that's the only thing noticeable. I don't know if they have like a real name. I've just always called them take panels. But yeah, so if there was some way to combine this or change these panels in a way, I really hate to be like, come on, let's do micro panels. I hate micro panels. I'll explain that a little later. But maybe what you could do is truncate this a little bit, like split it here maybe, move this character over a little bit and just have this person's because I feel like, yeah, they're upset, but I think his reaction, her reaction, I'm not sure what gender these characters are. my non-binary friendos here, that I think this character's reactions are more significant. And then, yeah, definitely, because then what we can do is, so if you do, so these two panels would be the same, with this character's expression just changing a little bit. So, by the way, this is basically how I do like my rough sketches for Trying Human, and then like, yeah, I think that would work, something like that, because then, my friends, we come down here, and what I would do is, you're kind of at this point where you could theoretically do this. I would like literally move all the panels up one, because I would move every single panel up one. Just go with me here. Let me cook. I think I'm having a genius idea right now. Yeah. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take all this. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Gotta wiggle my way up here. We're gonna whoop. Okay, and so that the next page starts with the hand clasp. Okay. And now we get the expression. Okay, see, now we see what this character is up, that they're like, oh shit, like they're noticing, like they knew they were sad, but like, wow, really need to like reach out to me now. So now we as an audience are seeing their full expression here. So we're kind of following this character's moment, that like, oh, they're really upset, and I kind of knew it, but like I didn't know they were that upset that they had to reach out for my hand. Couldn't even go for a Christian side hug in this comic. Nope. Anyway, so next panel. So then my idea was that you get down here. Okay. The journey continueth. I have to kind of, yeah, we'll just go like that. Okay, and then now you could either make this a little bigger, or this could just be like a nice long shot. You've got this like really pretty tree over here that I'm like not doing any favors to with my drawing. But you got this tree, you got like clouds, you got your hills, rolling hills out here. I might, even if this was going to be displayed vertically, I might put like the foreground here and make it black so that you get this nice like blend down into these panels. Something like that. And then since this, I would put this balloon here. I would move this sucks up here. Oh, another little thing here is let me get closer. So this is just like something that comes with practice, but whenever you have a character, so you have like foreground elements. Let me move this down. It's bothering me. There we go. Whenever you have foreground elements and then like especially like a character as a background element, you've got like there's a lot happening there visually. So what I would recommend doing is first off, I would center the character over the split right here. And then the cloak is blowing in the wind. And then we've got this character, Mr. Stiff Thumb over here. Just make the thumb a little looser. That's fine. Really nice thumb here. I like how this thumb is stylized. It's a good thumb. Good thumb and face. I'm so envious of people that remember to draw fingernails on their characters because when I started trying human, I like forgot how to didn't forget how, but I forgot to put fingernails on my characters all the time, and it just became like a staple of trying human stuff unless they had like painted nails. Ugh. But anyway, I think drawing characters with fingernails looks way better. But just think how many hours I've saved by not drawing fingernails. Anyway, so you've now got your foreground elements here. Whoop, whoop. Put the sleeveys on. Make this fluffy. I just do it. Okay. So. And then the character's legs should be down here somewhere. So what I would do is I would put an outline here. I would just like literally ink it into the character. Or if you're working like a more like fully colored, comic experience. I don't know if these pages are finished or not finished. Honestly, I like the way they look now with like there's sort of like this like hue to them, this like sepia hue with like that gray sky. I love that. I would keep doing that. Honestly, you could probably bring some white in here too, if you don't think it would distract from the word bubbles. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I would put an outline there. And since you're already like doing hatching, I would maybe like hatch or something to like maybe not hatching. I'm trying to think. Maybe if it was lighter, if you did like white hatching over the top, just some way to like push this back. Yeah, ignore that. Maybe don't do hatching, but some kind of an outline here would be good. And then up here, you have your stupa. I think that's a stupa. Well, I've just made it a stupa, like a Buddhist stupa. I'm sorry. There you go. Well, stupa. I don't know what it is, but the little totem in the back there. Okay. Right here, just make sure that like little character flourishes don't just like kiss the edge of the frame. You want them to either be all the way in or all the way out. So yeah, so if this was like a point right here, you would want it to go fully off or be fully on. However, you would plan to do that. Not that that's an issue there, but just as an example. I like this creature mask. You know me and skulls. It's like, ooh. Sorry, I'm having funsies. Okay. This is a great panel. I love panels like this where like the top of the face is cut off. By the way, if you ever notice like I overdraw panels, you should too. Not like for your final drawing, but like when you're sketching. It's always good to like overdraw and, you know. I realize this is going to be like a less anatomy based episode. So, you know, bear with me, come with me on the journey. But yeah, this is all really good. I like this. And then we've got the figures. Man, I tell you what, there's nothing I hate more in comics than drawing like tiny, tiny characters. I hate it so much. I won't keep putzing with that. It's fine. Okay, so next scene. I didn't realize they were on these beds until I saw them on the beds. So I was confused. I thought somewhere in here, like between these two panels, that they like got up and moved somehow. So maybe if you're feeling bold, brassy, and brave, I might try to squeeze in like maybe this first panel. Either like push this scene. How would I say this? So the 180 rule was really good on these panels. So I'm trying to think. I might do a camera shot from like this direction, like pretend there's a security camera up here and show where they are in the room. But then you won't know where they are in relation to the screen that the masked character is now behind. Maybe make this a new panel here. Let me turn this off for a minute so I can think without the characters there. So let's... I don't remember what the beds look like, so just, you know, bear with me. So the one character sitting on the bed eating. The darker haired character was kind of bunched up there. I don't know what's like on the walls or anything, but you could do something like this and then show like part of that table that was there. Oops. Yeah, show part of that table with like the stools and stuff up on the walls. You know, full establishing shot, and then cut down to just this guy here, this close up, because we know now where they are in relation, the light haired character. So now this character is watching the shape behind the screen, and I would enhance that a little more. The silhouette behind the screen. I'll get to that in a second. I would also try to get this character like up onto the panel just a little bit more. They're kind of being cut off right here. Almost looks like they're sitting on the edge of the frame. So I would just try to like move this shot up just like a tiny bit more. And then here, let's do overlay. Let's take white. I'm not sure if that's like exactly the shape you're going for, but I might like just lighten that up like a touch just to put some contrast in there. I don't even know if that really. Oh, okay. I think they have like their knees like bent up like this. Something like that. I think that would sorry, bouncing all over. I think that would help just sort of with the depth here a little bit. Same with like anything that's going to have the background behind it. You're going to want to like try to push all this back as best you can in tone and contrast just so that characters are pushed forward more. I know that one thing you wrote was you wanted this final part to look cozy. It's a little, I mean, cozy is sort of, to me, a lot of stuff. And I know that's not everybody's definition. It's like maximalism cozy. But when you're working in black and white, you can't like lean on color to make a room cozy. So you're going to have to find aesthetic ways, so to speak, to make a room cozy. And that can be done with like plants, tapestries, things like that. Cozy, like lighting, would help if I had the right color. So I think this should be going like this. Oops. Now, I'm not going to go like really hard on you about the perspective lines, but you could do you could put candles here or some kind of like lighting. I don't know if this is like a fantasy world or something. You could do lanterns or some kind of overhead lighting. Yeah, I think the perspective wouldn't be this deep. It would be like this. Forgive me, I feel like I'm really like rushing through this one. I just backgrounds always take me a while to do anyway, so also if this is like a room that you plan to revisit a lot in your comic, I can't help but really press if you have access to a 3D modeling program like SketchUp, I don't know what the kids use today, CAD. Mario Paint. If you got that Mario Paint, you could make a room that you can like revisit continuously for reference. I like this panel, but I would just move it so that you can't see the eye so much. Sometimes just clipping an eye off in the middle looks a little strange, and it's funny because I did it recently in a page, and I just kept getting tons of comments about like what the character was doing and like where were they looking and why are they looking that way, because I cut the eyeball off right in the middle. I should have just like blacked it out entirely. So okay. So, oh, and I remember I mentioned like micro panels. So micro panels is something I'm actually like redoing a couple pages right now where I was like really reliant on micro panels. And micro panels to me is where you have 3 or more frames per not column, row. So per row. or column. If you've got like a page, like let's just say this is a page, and you're just like splitting it up, you know, there's just like 1, 2, 1, 2, you know, just panel, 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 panel. And you're just like, I call that micro paneling. You kind of want to only do maybe like 3 rows per page, and like maybe 2 or 3 panels per row. There's obviously, there's, you know, it's art and it's storytelling, and there's always extenuating circumstances and yada yada yada. But if you're kind of new to comics, I think it's like a pretty good rule to stick with. And then like once you know the rules, then you can just break them and you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. And you can be like, I'm rich, I don't care, I'm putting 1,000 micro panels per page, here we go. But sometimes it sort of shows like a lack of planning, which I was known for. But this comic doesn't suffer from that. But I was like a little nervous when I put these 2 panels next to each other. I was like, oh boy, how many panels are we getting on this page, you know? So anyway. So now we've got the close up. That's fine. I might move the bubble just in a little more, just so there's a little space there and a little space there. And then because we don't know which character is talking first, now they're off panel, I would find some way to indicate that this guy is talking. And usually what I do is like, I don't know this character's name, so we'll just call them Blondie. So I would say like Blondie, comma, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, you would have the character say their name, or, you know, what is she doing there, Blondie? Or Blondie, what do you think she's doing in there? And da 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 da. Because that now tells the reader, okay, now the next person that should be speaking is this character, and it makes the reading more comfortable. You know, like the audience has a little bit of an anticipatory flow in the way that they like, okay, yes, next character talks, and they're not confused. As soon as the person gets confused, they have to start going back, and you don't want that. You want them always to be moving forward. This is fine. These little squiggly tails, I see people doing them. It's wrong. Don't do it. No, it's fine. I just maybe the tail sort of ends up here. I maybe just like rotate that tail so that it comes out a little more down here. This is all fine. Maybe bring the spoon up and over, or have it actually like cut over this panel. I don't know what the character's eating, but you know, you could do that. Be careful of like background elements like this. I think this is like some kind of a lantern or a light. All you have to do is just kind of like when you're inking, just sort of dot the lines as they head towards the frame. That way you don't have such it kind of creates an, like when you ink a background, when you ink background elements, if you have something super detailed or super heavy lines connecting to a frame, it kind of can look a little strange. Like I kept thinking, I don't know why, when I was first reading through this, I kept thinking this was somehow connected to this panel, and I knew logically it wasn't because the gutter was there, but it's just that like first quick look at the page kind of makes you think that. So I would just do something like that just to indicate, you know, it's part of this frame, part of this panel, and it's not connected to this frame or anything like that. You kind of did it over here, so, you know, good on you. Do they not have pillows? No. Okay, then don't worry about that. Again, I might restage this to get this character up onto the layout, like in the bed a little more. Into the frame, I should say. Because this isn't like a super anatomy based Redline Tuesday, I'm not gonna go wild on that. But yeah, I would just like somehow, push him up or stage this in some other way. I'm not sure how, but maybe, like I said, it'd be easier if you had like a little computer model that you could swing around from a few different angles and kind of plan shots that way, but you don't have to. So let's see. This there. This is fine. This is fine. I like where those bubbles are placed. Maybe here, if you were gonna like move that gutter down, you might want to do a clipped word panel like this. And then, okay, good. So what I was looking for was, I wanted to know where the next word bubble was, because if it was in this panel, you'd have to like somehow do a really tight swing on this to read it, but it's not. So the eye is going to naturally travel over this panel, or excuse me, over these bubbles. Then you're going to swing this way. You're going to briefly look at this panel, at this character's back, and then the first word bubble you're going to run to is there. So that's good, which makes it a nice flow that way. So you're here, you acknowledge it, but you keep moving. You're not stopping to read. So it could be a little herky-jerky if you've got like a lot of text. Like let's say there was a bubble over here, but the first text is there. This is like a really wide swing to bring the eye. So I might have admonished you. I might have been like, put that text back over there. Anyway, so this is good. This is good. Maybe I just realized this bro's like a cat bro. Is this bro not a cat bro? Am I insane? I feel like the nose changed. The nose changed? Maybe they're like a werewolf. They only cat bro at night. But anyway, so now they look this way. And then they kind of roll away. So put a mo line there. And then this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Ada. Ada? I knew that. Anyway. I might push this panel and this panel just up slightly. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. To get them away from here. And then this, I wasn't sure where I would put it. The little heh. I wasn't sure if I would center it and that would look cute, or I would put it up here and that would look cute because these are all at the top. That's kind of like a style thing. I'll, leave it up to you. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, this is fine. This is all fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, there were only a few like little staging things that maybe I would have changed. Bro, I swear that was a cat. But now I know this is like a tail, right? Tail. Meow meow. Whoop. Meow meow tail. Right? It's a tail? I don't know if it's a tail or not. I'm just like meow meow. Meow meow meow. Meow tail. Okay. So yeah, I think there's only some like really minor like staging things I would change, pacing, but overall I like it. I'm just kind of giving it a last look. Maybe right here. Where I might have the ponytail just pulled away from that shoulder a little bit. It's just there's not a lot of overlap right there. In a comic like this where you're working in black and white, line weight is going to be like so important. So anytime you can sneak away or sneak away, get away. What am I saying? Anglais. I would, like hear these characters in the foreground. Are they supposed to be looking at them? Well, whatever. Because they're in the foreground, I would do a thicker outline here. Yeah. Just little things like that, I think, will, like, really help out. Good hands, though. Hands for days. I kind of thought this might be too flat, but I don't know. I'm not really bothered by it, but yeah, so I think that's good. I'm going to call it. I just want to say thank you to Sin for sending this. I love doing comics, you know me. It's like my favorites. I'm sorry I couldn't get around to like, actually redlining like anatomy and stuff, but honestly, you're getting there. You have your foundation, your basics. I can tell like, you know what you're doing, and the comic stuff, you don't know at all. No, I'm kidding. The comic looks really good. It looks better than anything I ever did at the beginning of my career. So, yeah, keep it up. Keep it up. And if you, the viewer at home, has a drawing or comic or thing that you would like me to look at Redline, please send it to emy.bitner at IntroducingEmy.com or follow the link down below, which will take you to my Discord group that has like a Redline thing. You can just dump your images in there. And yeah, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!